So I've been doing stand-up comedy for about 2 years now, and people are always like, Jerrod, how is it that you raised the bar so high on Savannah stand-up comedy? And I often tell them, it wasn't hard. These guys weren't doing much with it. Okay, here's the scenario, okay? I walked into the Savannah stand-up comedy scene and I saw the bar sitting on the ground. So I picked it up. So, Chris Davison. Yeah, he's the first one to come to mind. Chris Davison. I once heard Chris Davison say that his pussy game was on point. And I always wanted to ask you, do you fuck the girls before, during, or after putting them in a UFC-style chokehold? Because we all know you're a trained cage fighter. I just want to know, do you prefer them in or out of the cage when you fuck them against their will? No, Chris is a very dedicated comedian. I feel like he actually has a chance at success one day. But like, I feel like it's all gonna come crashing down when the rape allegations come through. Just like Bill Cosby. Like one day, like you'll just see like 60 Minutes. They'll be interviewing one of his former victims. He's just like, after he had his way with me, he then tied me to the couch. And he made me listen to his set. And he just kept going on and on and on about this horrible joke about period blood. And it was such a disappointing delivery with such a long and elaborate setup. And I was just like, for the love of God, Chris, please get to the punchline or go back to raping me. I'm mad that Raph Nasty had to leave, but it's probably for the better, because if he would have stayed, he would have just gotten like hungry halfway through the show and would have started eating Tara. Which would have been a horrible idea, because I'm pretty sure he's got type 1 diabetes, I think he got type 2 diabetes, they would just add together, he would have had type 3 diabetes. I imagine Raph's diabetes is like Cell from Dragon Ball Z. It's got to absorb other diabetes for it to reach the Or it's like Jet Li from The One. It's got to defeat all the other diabetes to become the most powerful diabetes. Bill Cooper, you're still alive. Blair. Blair, you look like white privilege. I feel like you're the image that Hitler masturbated to on the nights when Eva Braun had a headache. Like he just pulls out his Blair poster. It's like, oh Blair, I can always count on you to help me release my final solution. I always have to defend Blair because like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know Blair, I don't know if he's a good comedian. I'm like, no, Blair just needs to find his audience, alright? Blair, I believe that the day that you perform for an entire room full of skinheads, you're gonna murder Jews. Hey, look, it's a roast. If you didn't lube up before you got here, look, Uncle Bob, Robert Peary is here. When he's drunk, he's known as Uncle Bobby. When he's high, he's known as Captain Bobbers. But when he's on this stage telling jokes, he's known as just plain not funny. Chris is lame. I would roast you, but you roast yourself every time you get on stage. I don't know, but Chris, he did write that one good joke this year. Like, he wrote New Pigeon, which is a funny ass joke. I like it. Because we honestly, we lost hope in him. We thought that he just didn't have any more material left in him. He came out with New Pigeon. And I honestly think, like, if you keep it up, they might actually promote you to Derek. We'll just change your name from Chris is lame to Chris is Marshall. Speaking of Derek, if y'all don't know, he has two weaknesses. One, thick white woman. They're his Achilles penis. Two, Rufinol. I feel like Rufinol to Derek is like what kryptonite is to Superman. It doesn't have to touch him. As soon as it's like around his general vicinity, he just automatically starts feeling weak.
I liked it.
Stephen Mays, I think you're a funny comedian, but sometimes it's just hard for me to hear your set over the sound of that mustache yelling at me that you're a child molester. I think I got everyone, but I'm not sure. Wait, no, I didn't get Aaron, but Aaron, you don't get a fucking joke, alright? That's how little of an impact you've made on the scene. Like, okay, anybody else that I forgot, you're just sharing your joke with Aaron right now. Like, y'all share it like toddlers share soda. Which brings me, okay, Zach Albers. If y'all don't know, Zach put his own roast together. That's like a guy who's about to get married organize his own bachelor party. He's like, wow, did a stripper come out of that cake? This party's fucking crazy. Y'all know how this roast happened, right? Zach was sitting around at home one day, just really feeling like he was a great comedian. And he came up with a bunch of really good roast jokes. And so he just showed up, he's like, guys! I'm such a freaking good comedian! Somebody roast me! So I can tell you these great freaking jokes! You're like that kid whose mom sends him to karate class, and after like 2 classes, you go up to your friends, you're like, guys! I'm so freaking good at karate! Somebody try to kick my ass! So I can show you these sweet freaking moves! This thing on? Zach Albers! I'm beginning to think you guys don't know just who Zach Albers is. I was cloned from the greatest stand-up comedian ever, Bill Burr himself. But the scientists, they were like, we don't need another Bill Burr. The world can't handle that much funny. We need this guy to be half as funny as the original. So they took Bill Burr's DNA, they cut it in half, and they filled in the other half with the DNA of some other talentless, hopeless fuck. And that's how Zach Albers was born. So I guess, okay, I should wrap it up now, and I guess this is the point where usually we roast comedians when they're about to leave town. And, but that's not the case here, but I don't know, Zach, maybe you should. Maybe it's time to go back to Portland. Jerrod.